Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to take a journey all the way from something deeply human, like our emotions and bonds, to the totally digital, the real nuts and bolts of how machines actually think. This is your crash course on understanding artificial intelligence. Okay, so instead of jumping into a dry, technical definition, let's start with something really human. A question that gets right to the core of this whole thing. And it's this. Can we actually love a machine? Can we form a real, genuine emotional bond with something that isn't even alive? All right, so here's a roadmap for today. We're going to start with the mirror and the machine, then check out AI in the real world. After that, we'll decode the digital brain, see how machines actually learn, peek inside the famous black box, and finally, wrap it all up with a summary. So first up, the mirror and the machine. We're going to start by exploring this really fascinating idea of how AI kind of acts like a mirror, reflecting our own humanity right back at us, and in the process, blurring all those lines we thought were so clear. So that big question we started with, can we love a machine? Well, the answer starts with this big word you see right here, anthropomorphism. It sounds complicated, but it's something we all do. It's that totally natural human tendency to give human traits, emotions, intentions to things that aren't human. You ever see a face in a cloud, or maybe get way too attached to a cartoon character? Yep, that's it. That's anthropomorphism in action. And look, this isn't just some quirky little habit we have. It has some seriously profound, real-world consequences. Just look at this quote. It's from a study about soldiers and their bomb disposal robots. These soldiers become so emotionally attached to these machines. I mean, these things are literally their partners, saving their lives, that they'll actually hold funerals for them when they get destroyed. It's just an incredible, powerful example of this idea in a super high-stakes situation. Okay, so this leads to a really interesting question, right? If we can form these deep bonds with machines, can they love us back? Let's take a look at an app like Replica. As you can see on the left, the promise is huge. The AI companion who cares. But then you look at the reality on the right. It's a program. A very smart one, designed to tell you exactly what you want to hear to keep you engaged. And that just completely blurs the line, doesn't it? It makes you question what a real connection even is. All right, let's shift gears a bit. We've talked about the philosophical stuff. Now let's get practical. Let's look at AI in the real world, where this tech is already popping up in your daily life, probably in ways you don't even realize. A perfect example is something you probably use every single day, Google search. It used to be a pretty straightforward three-step process, as you see here. It would crawl the web, index it, and then serve you a list of links, kind of like a digital librarian finding books for you. But AI added this absolute game changer of a fourth step, response generation. Now, instead of just a list of blue links, Google actually understands your question and gives you a direct answer right at the top. That's AI at work. And of course, it goes way beyond just searching the web. AI is basically becoming this digital helping hand everywhere. You've got these ambitious robotics projects like Tesla's Optimus, aiming to do things like your grocery shopping. Then you have really vital services like MindLine in Singapore, which uses an AI chatbot for mental wellness. And even in healthcare with things like Good Doctor, where AI helps with the initial triage. It's just quietly weaving itself into the very fabric of our lives. Okay, so we've seen a bunch of examples of what AI can do. Now let's hit pause, take a step back, and get super clear on what we're actually talking about. Let's decode the digital brain. So at the highest level, artificial intelligence, or AI, is really just this huge, broad field. The whole goal is to create machines that can learn from experience, adjust to new things they see, and basically imitate human behavior. That's the big idea. And one thing that's really important to get is that this stuff isn't new. It didn't just appear out of nowhere. I mean, look at this timeline. This has been going on for decades. It all started way back in 1950 with Alan Turing and his famous Turing test. Then the actual term artificial intelligence was coined in '56. We had these huge moments like IBM's Deep Blue beating the world chess champion, then AlphaGo beating the world Go champion, a much harder game. And all of that led up to 2022, when ChatGPT was released and, well, the whole world changed. Okay, this is a super important point, so listen up. You hear all these terms thrown around: AI, machine learning, deep learning. They are not the same thing. The best way to think about it, like you see here, is like a set of Russian nesting dolls. Artificial intelligence is the biggest doll. It's the whole entire concept. You open it up, and inside you find machine learning, which is a specific way of doing AI by learning from data. And then you open that one up, and you find deep learning. That's the really powerful stuff that's driving this crazy AI boom we're seeing right now. All right, so let's zoom in on that middle doll for a minute, machine learning. We're going to explore the three main ways a machine can actually learn. And trust me, it's way more intuitive than it sounds. First up, we have what's called supervised learning. And the analogy here is perfect. It's the flashcard method. You're basically giving the machine a gigantic stack of flashcards. The data is all neatly labeled with the correct answers. This is a cat. This is a dog. This credit card transaction is fraud. This one isn't. It sees millions and millions of these examples until it learns the pattern so well that it can spot it on its own. Okay, number 2 is unsupervised learning. This is completely different. It's like the sorting game. Imagine I just dump a massive, messy pile of data in front of you. No labels, no answers, nothing. And just say, find the patterns. That's what the machine is doing. It's looking for hidden structures on its own. This is the secret sauce behind things like your Netflix recommendations, where it figures out which viewers and which movies belong in the same group. And last but not least, we've got reinforcement learning. And this one is my favorite analogy. It's basically like training a puppy. You have an agent, the AI, and it learns by doing. Just pure trial and error. When it does something you want it to do, you give it a reward, a little digital treat. When it does something wrong, it gets nothing. Over and over, millions of times, until it figures out the best strategy to get the most rewards. This is exactly how AI learned to master insanely complex games like Go. Okay, so we know how machines learn, but how do they actually, decide something? It can feel like this big, mysterious black box. But we're going to peek inside and just see that a lot of the time, it just comes down to good old-fashioned probability. Let's make this super simple. Imagine this is our entire training data set, just the 5 animals you see in this table, with a few of their features. Now, a brand new animal walks in. We don't know what it is, but we know 3 things about it. It has whiskers, it does not climb, and it pants. So, is it a cat or is it a dog? Well, the AI can't know for sure, right? It can only work with the data it has. So it does what it does best. It calculates the probabilities. And as you can see from this chart, based on the patterns in our tiny data set, it makes an educated guess. The evidence points more strongly towards dog, about a 69% chance, versus only 23% for cat. See? It's not magic. It's just math. It's a statistical guess. Wow, okay, we have covered a ton of ground. We've gone all the way from human emotions to how a machine calculates odds. So let's wrap this up and lock in the most important things you need to remember. All right, so if you're studying for an exam or just want to sound smart talking about this stuff, these are the 5 key points you gotta have in your back pocket. 1, that line between human and AI, it's getting really blurry. 2, AI isn't coming, it's already here, integrated into our daily lives. 3, remember the Russian dolls? AI is the big one, then machine learning, then deep learning. 4, machines learn in 3 main ways: supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement. And finally, 5, AI decision-making isn't magic, it's usually just about calculating probabilities. Learning about something as complex as AI isn't like walking down a straight road. It's more like climbing a spiral staircase. You keep coming back to the same core ideas, but every time you do, you're a little bit higher up, seeing them with a whole new perspective. We've just finished the first loop of that staircase, and that leaves us with one final thought to chew on as we keep climbing. What do you think you'll see from the next loop?